If you are ready to get serious about having more time and slaying all your goals, you need to stop making excuses and start making time. Today, I'm diving into the 7 non-negotiables to make time, not excuses. Hi, my name's Sandi Glandt. I'm a high performance productivity coach, wife, mama to two very busy boys, and I'm here today to talk to you about slaying those excuses. So many of us put all of these excuses in front of our goals. And I want to share with you how I just break through all of those excuses and I'm able to tackle and slay all of my goals and what is important to me. And make sure you stick until the end because number 7 might just be the most important tip. So let's dive in. So, the great thing about all of these tips is that this is going to give you actionable steps to help you make time for your goals. We all are busy. We are working women. We are moms and wives, and you want to have enough time for your own self care. So, these 7 tips are really going to help you have actionable steps so you can slay those excuses and start hitting your goals. So, number 1 that I have for you is to prioritize your goals. And I know this sounds so simple, but most people don't prioritize their goals. And again, I know it sounds so crazy, but start by clearly defining exactly what it is that you want to achieve. Again, not having this broad, generic, general idea, but really being able to lay out with goals and targets exactly what you want to achieve and prioritize those targets, prioritize those goals, and know that whatever you're putting in place, that you have to make sure that that is of the utmost highest importance in your life. I mean, obviously, again, we're wives and mothers and business leaders and community builders, but if those goals are important to you, that has to be at the front of what you're focusing on every single day. So again, prioritizing your goals and making sure that you're looking at it every day, that you're reviewing it every day, maybe multiple times a day, because sometimes just once a day isn't enough. So what I would say is as you prioritize these goals, don't just be generic about the goals. Get smart about your goals. It's an acronym for really setting up your goals in a strategic way and making sure that you're prioritizing it every single day. The second non-negotiable tip for making time and not excuses is creating a time management plan. Now, I don't know about you, but mostly everything in my life has a time management plan. But what this looks like is developing a daily or weekly schedule that allocates time for your priorities. And again, if your goals are important to you, you have to make sure that you're mapping out how much time you're dedicating to them. So stick to this plan. Again, I know it's easy to plan things out and then just not do them because life gets in the way. But so many people, they make goals and especially at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year, you have like these really big goals and you have these really big dreams that you want to go after. And then quarter 1 happens. So January, February, March, and you're like, I didn't get to it. And then you get into the second quarter and the third quarter. And now we're in the fourth quarter and you're at the end of the year and you just completely underestimated the time that you needed, and you probably overestimated the time that you thought that you had to get it done. So giving yourself a very clear time management plan is going to help break this down for you. Part of this plan is figuring out obviously how much time is going to go into this. But if you have your time and your attention focusing on that plan, what it looks like for how much time to get it done, what it looks like on your schedule, and also knowing that you probably are going to have to put some room in there for making adjustments, this is really, really going to help you figure out what this plan looks like. Also, what I want to mention here is I go into great detail in this in the High Performance Accelerator Academy. This is where we map out the systems, the strategy, the support that it looks like to not just only go after your goals, but actually hit the goals and achieve them way before you've ever imagined. And what I have to say about this community is these women are really just big. They have big goals, they have big dreams. And not only do they have these big goals and dreams, but they also are showing up as wives and as mothers, and they're doing both. And they're not sacrificing or making excuses in one area or another. If they have something to do with their kids, they're not making excuses because of work or vice versa. So it's really, really important that you get around other people that are living this, that are doing this, that can also probably encourage you, and also to step away from the excuses, because it's easy to make excuses. Like, anyone can make excuses, but not many, not most people actually do what they say they're going to do. So be that person, because you will surprise and you will get so much further ahead in business and in life if you just do the thing that you say you're going to do and you follow through on your promises, because most people can't even do that. The third non-negotiable when it comes to making time and not excuses is setting clear deadlines. I don't know about you, but when I have a deadline for myself, I see that deadline approaching and I know that I might have to work a little bit more or focus in on that goal a little bit more. And it puts a little fire under me. So you have these big goals for yourself, or you're saying that you don't have time for something, you're making these excuses. Set clear deadlines on what it is that you want to achieve. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I hear from women excuses. And these excuses can be about time, about money, about resources, about support. And they're all valid. But again, anybody can have an excuse. It boils down to, what do you actually want? Because at the end of the day, we all can have big goals. We all can have big dreams, but what separates the people that want it from the people that get it is the work that's in between. And I don't know, there's something about, like, in our house, we have like a no excuse policy. There's no excuses. It's like, when you want something, you go after it, you pursue it, and we all support each other in that goal. Myself, my husband, even my kids. So I think it's a very bad trap to fall into if you start making excuses. And the really scary and dangerous thing is if you start believing your own excuses. I can't do it. I don't have enough time. I can't do it. I don't have enough resources or support or money or whatever that excuse might be, right? Like, the scary part is when you start believing your own excuses and then you stop becoming resourceful. Because if I hear someone say they don't have enough, let's say, time, to me, that means a lack of planning. If I hear someone say they have a lack of funds or money, to me, that's not being resourceful, because there's always a way to make more money. There's always a way to figure something out. So setting clear deadlines for yourself is going to help with eliminating those excuses, because you know that you have a timeline that you're on. You know that you have to stay on track. You've got to get to a certain, let's say, target or date by a certain time. And you know the smaller accomplishments that you need to get to in order to get to that big goal. So set some clear deadlines for yourself and accomplish your objectives that you're setting up for yourself within a reasonable time frame. And just know that these goals that you're setting, you're making them for yourself, right? It might be something in business that somebody else is putting on you, but at the end of the day, if you're the hardest on yourself, nobody else is going to be hard on you like you will be. And setting those goals. And look, this is about high performance, right? Like, this podcast, Slay Your Day, this isn't for people that want to live an average life. So I'm just going to say that first and foremost. Slay Your Day is about being the best that you can be, that you want to be for yourself, your family, your community. But like, at the end of the day, I want to be the best version of me for me. So if that's you, number one, you're in the right spot. But also, number two, just know that as we talk about these goals and we talk about deadlines and all the things that come into play when we're talking about making time, not excuses, you will be, I will be, we will be either our biggest advocate or our biggest enemy when it comes to either accomplishing or getting in the way of our goals and the excuses that we put in front of ourselves. So again, set clear deadlines, know what you have to achieve when you have to achieve it. And this is really going to help to push you in the right direction, and maybe even put a little fire under your butt to make sure that you actually accomplish that goal. While we're at it, you guys, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. I'm so grateful that you're here. And the subscribe button is just like a little thank you from you to me, letting me know that you are loving this content. And if you want to even go a step further, you can like this video and share with a friend, share with a family member, share with one of your business besties, because I don't know about you, but building a strong community of supportive women is what it's all about. I am just coming off of an amazing high performance mastermind that we did right here in Miami, where we had 20 women just pouring into each other and building that community, collaborating, networking, and having so much fun together. So my ask from you is that you subscribe to this channel, you share it with a friend, you share it with your business bestie, and we grow in this community together. Okay, let's dive into the fourth non negotiable when it comes to making time, not excuses. The fourth non negotiable is eliminating distractions. So, again, when I am so clear and so focused on what my goals are and what I'm achieving, I almost have to put blinders on. That's why I'm like going like this, because there's so many things that can come up. I mean, there's school stuff for the kids. There might be other like vacation or travel or things that family members or friends need from you. And it's really important that when you're looking at what it is that you want to achieve, you have to know, this is kind of like an asterisk, like an additional bonus tip, but you have to know the buckets that you are prioritizing, because when those distractions come, it's going to be either so easy or so hard for you to say yes or no to where you're showing up. When you clearly have defined what your priorities are, it's going to be an easy yes to a request or an easy no to a request, depending on number one, what you have prioritized in your life, but number two, how much of those distractions you're willing to let into your environment. So I think it's really important that number one, you identify what those potential distractions are. I mean, it could be something as simple as like, I don't know, having snacks down, you work from home and you have snacks downstairs in your closet, and that's like a distraction for you, or your TV or your phone, or scrolling social media, or pings and dings that are going off on your devices. Like, we all get it. Like, we've all been there. So I think that it's important, number one, that you identify it and then you minimize what those distractions are so you can really focus. Because anytime you take your focus off of the goal, anytime you take your focus off of the thing that you're concentrating on, you are going to make excuses why you didn't get something done, why you didn't hit the target, why you took your eye off the prize. Like, it's so easy to do these things, but it's also so easy not to do them. So just identify what these distractions are for you. You could also really hone in on setting specific working hours, or finding like quiet time for you to focus in on the work that you have. But I think the biggest thing that, when it comes to making time and not excuses, is that you know that you're in charge. You are in charge of where your time is going, your energy, your resources, and where you're showing up. Because yes, all of us have the same 24 hours in the day, but some of us are wearing multiple hats, and we have to be in work mode and wife mode and mom mode and all the different modes. Again, there's so many of you that watch this show that, you might work multiple jobs, and you might be traveling and having different obligations that you have to fulfill. But at the end of the day, I just want you to know that every single one of us is in charge of our own lives. And when you can put yourself in the driver's seat and say, I know that I wanted to go do that thing, or I wanted to go achieve that goal. No matter what distractions come up, I know where I'm focused. It makes it so much easier to actually achieve that goal and achieve it so much faster than you probably thought you could in the first place. Okay, number five, we are diving in and we are talking about breaking down tasks. Now, look, when it comes to making excuses instead of actually making time for yourself, breaking down tasks might seem like a no brainer. Like, okay, Sandy, I know that if I have this really big project, I should probably break it down into bite sized pieces. I don't know about you guys, but in college and like even in high school, grade school, I was such a procrastinator. Like, I convinced myself that I worked better under pressure and that I could do things last minute. And maybe some of you are laughing right now because you resonate with this and you're like, me too. But breaking down your tasks into these smaller, kind of like bite-sized pieces, it's going to help make you feel so much less overwhelmed. And the fact of the matter is like when we have these really big projects, not doing it, especially like not even starting it, whether it's a project or a goal or a target that you're trying to hit, if you just don't start that thing, whatever it is, insert that thing there, right? Like it leads to so much procrastination. And then you actually build it up in your head to be something so much bigger than it was in the first place. And then you just like push it off, push it off, push it off. And then you don't do it until you actually have to do it. And now you're crammed and now you're doing it last minute and you're super overwhelmed. So break down your tasks into smaller, manageable, bite-sized steps so you can make progress every single day. And when you do this, you'll start to see that the excuses start to leave, which is what we're talking about. The excuses start to kind of just like vanish because now you're taking action. And the more action you can get, then the less excuses you're going to have because you know you're showing up for yourself. You know you're putting in the work and you're not going to have any excuses because you're doing the work. You're doing the actual steps that are going to get you to that goal. So again, we all have excuses. It doesn't matter if it's for health and wellness and fitness or in business, or maybe it's with your family, right? Maybe you're like, I can't go to this birthday party because I've got this work to do. But like, if that's the case, why wasn't the work done and completed in the first place? Like we kind of have to backtrack and think about where these excuses are coming up. Again, this is another like asterisk bonus is like, I would start tracking where you start seeing these excuses popping up. Is it in your fitness? Is it about waking up early? Is it about going to bed early? Is it about eating junk food? Or I'm just trying to think of like some of the excuses that are the most common. Not hitting a certain business goal. It's just so important that we break these things down because the more we break them down, the less excuses we'll have. Okay, ladies, if you haven't already, I would love for you to like this episode and let me know below which number you are resonating with the most. All of us, myself included, we have made excuses. We make excuses for really, it could be anything in our lives, but being able to identify these things and acknowledge them is going to make all of the difference. So I would love to hear from you. Let me know below which one of these 1 through 7 do you resonate with the most. Our sixth non-negotiable tip to make time, not excuses, is to stay accountable. We've been talking about this through the course of this podcast, but sharing your goals is something that allows you to stay accountable. Once you put it out into the world, once you claim it, once you put that stake in the ground, you are claiming that goal, that target, whatever that thing is that you want to achieve. And that will help you stay accountable. So whether it's sharing or planning with a friend, whether it's even just announcing it on social media to a mentor, to a coach, to your spouse, these people, if they're the right people, hopefully in your life, they will help you and hold you to stay accountable. And I think that also what's really important with this accountability piece is that there are regular check-ins. And again, as we make time for ourselves in every area of our life, because what's the biggest thing that you hear from people? If I only had an extra hour in the day, if I only had more time. But like, why not now? Why can't we put these things into practice now where every day we have time for ourselves to wind down, to connect with family, to do the things that we enjoy and where we want to be? That's what this My Business Slayer Day is all about, right? It's about doing the things that bring you joy and happiness and connection and community and purpose. Because look, at the end of the day, we all have really big goals that we want to achieve. I hope so. I know I do. And when you can have this support piece, this accountability piece, it does make all the difference. And what I'll say about this also is if you don't have it built into your everyday life, maybe your family isn't that support piece for you right now. Maybe it's not your spouse or your parents or your siblings. Go out and find it. again, this is why I created the High Performance Accelerator Academy, because it's women who come together, they get each other, they help each other, they have the systems, the strategy, the support together. And I know I keep saying these things about the academy, but it really truly does make all the difference when you can connect with someone about running a business and also being a mom, about running a business and being a wife, about doing all the things and wearing all the hats and knowing you're not alone. So if you don't have it already built into your life, find that support system somewhere else. Right? Like that's what helps you to stay motivated. Have those check ins, have that girlfriend that you can call up and say, hey, look, I'm making excuses on these things. I need someone to hold me accountable. And vice versa, like do that for her. But find a community that you can do that. And even if you have an amazing support system, like myself, I have an amazing supportive husband, also family, but I love having girlfriends that understands business, the work piece, the family piece, the mom piece, the travel piece, and the self-care piece. So like I know for me, I want it all and I'm not willing to negotiate on my goals. So for me, having that community really helps me to encompass all the things that I want and also have people that are on the same page with me, that get it, that understand it, and where we can hold each other accountable. So I'm going to challenge you. Where can you find additional accountability today? Reach out to a friend, reach out to a group, or reach out to me for HPAA. We would love to have you join us, but find that group because I promise you it will make all the difference. As promised, number 7 might be the biggest hack and tip of all. But the seventh non-negotiable to make time and not excuses is to stop making excuses and giving up on your dreams. I know when you're a mom, you want to just bear all the weight of your spouse and your kids and the school and the community. You can do that, but it doesn't mean you have to give up on your goals and dreams. So stop negotiating on your dreams and the things that you really want. Stop negotiating that if I get A, then I can't have B. Or if I show up as this amazing supportive mom or wife, I can't be this amazing businesswoman. Like it doesn't work that way. Anything that you want, as long as you're willing to stop making excuses, you can have. And I'm a testament to that because again, I'm living my life on terms that I've created. I'm living my life on terms that, I have put into place. I have gotten rid of those excuses years ago. And I just decided there's no more excuses. It's either me getting the results that I want to have or that's it. Because they serve me. Excuses don't take me to the goals that I want to get to. And it won't do that for you either. So I'm challenging you to just cut the excuses out of your life, no matter what it is, and see how fast you start accomplishing your goals. See how fast you start hitting those targets to get to the big goals. See how fast your life actually starts changing. I promise you it will happen very, very fast once you just cut the excuses and just get rid of them. Literally take them out of your life. There's no reason to have excuses in our life for anything that we want to go after. If you have a dream, if you have something, again, a goal that you want to accomplish, why are we going to put limitations on that? So I'm here to tell you that anything that you want to accomplish, you get to go after. But if you slash all of the excuse that you're telling yourself. And sometimes it's patterns that we have to break. Maybe somebody told you that you couldn't achieve that goal. Maybe somebody told you that you weren't good enough. Maybe somebody told you that you couldn't have something because they couldn't go get it. And they're projecting that on you. What I will tell you is that, first of all, women, we are the most incredible human beings. We make life. We create life. We have babies and run businesses and homes and take care of ourselves, make the world a better, prettier place. So at the end of the day, number 1, just know you're not alone. And number 2, just know that there's no reason why you should have to give up or negotiate on your goals and anything that you want. There's no reason why you can't go out and achieve that. So stop making those excuses. Probably the first step would be identifying what those excuses are and where do you see them popping up. because when you can see what that pattern is, you're like, oh, I can connect those dots and realize this is where it's stemming from, this is where it's coming from, or this is where it originated, to like really stop it in its tracks and realize, is it really worth giving up my dreams for this false belief, this false narrative, or someone else chirping in my ear? Most cases, you're like, let me just get rid of it. I don't need that anymore. So this episode was all about making time and not excuses. And I want to hear from you. Which one of these are you going to go all in and start making time for yourself? Start slashing those excuses and showing up and slaying your goals. I'm so grateful that you're here. Again, thank you so much for being with me. Make sure that you tune into the next episode, because the next episode is going to help you with this episode right here, where we talk about having and getting rid of all those excuses. But the next episode is going to piggyback off of this. So make sure you check that one out as well. And as always, go out and slay your day.